Hi guys and welcome back to my garden. If you are new here, my name is Florina and I started my journey of growing my dream rose garden a year ago, and I would like to share with you the best roses that I found, but also not so good ones. So if you don't want to waste your time and money, keep watching. For today's episode, I prepare a list, my top 13 roses that I consider to be the fastest growers in my garden. Because my rose garden is still very young, what I appreciate the most at the rose right now is to see that it's growing. Of course, that is extra nice to have a lot of flowers and to be able to enjoy them. But in the first 3 years of their life, they should focus most of the energy in putting down roots and growing a nice structure. I will judge each rose based on what I see on the label as the mature size for that particular variety, but also I will compare it with my other roses. So with no further ado, let's start with a rose that is sadly not in my garden anymore, and this is The Generous Gardener by David Austin. It says on the label that the mature size will be 4.5 meter. Mine has already 1.7 meters in less than 1 year. I planted this rose at the base of my deck, and I am sure that it would have made an excellent rose to cover all the fence and the decking rail. If you want to see why this rose is not longer in my garden, you can click and watch this episode. I am explaining here more details. It grew this spring two massive canes that I was training, one on the fence and one towards the deck. So this was the Generous Gardener, gorgeous flowers and a very rapid grower. Number 12 is Rose Sunny Sky by Kordes. The mature size of this rose is supposed to be 1 meter, and in my garden it was reaching 140 centimeters. Sadly, this is also not anymore in my garden, but it's a healthy rose that enjoyed his location and grew this massive cane even if was moved and planted that spring in that particular location. Also, is very floriferous and was looking amazing with all the flowers open. At number 11, it's a rose A Whiter Shade of Pale by Colin Pierce. The mature size of this rose is supposed to be 80 centimeters, and now mine in my garden is 70 centimeters. It's nearly there, all in one season and being in a pot. In the winter, I pruned this one so bad because it has a lot of canes, not very healthy, and it responded very well. This has the most elegant and delicate light pink flowers with a wonderful scent. At number 10, I placed Sweet Honey by Kordes. The height is supposed to be 1 meter tall, and now it's more than that. It reached 130 centimeters. This is a great rose to have. I'm impressed not only by the height but also by how many healthy, thick and new canes it has this year, and all of them had loads of buds. I have to admit that the second flush is not so great as the first one, but for sure it's a spectacular one. So overall, this is a very healthy rose and also very thorny. At number 9, I have Rose Wedding Piano by Tantau. This is supposed to reach 120 centimeters, but it had one long cane reaching about 140 centimeters, so this is more than advised on the label. It has beautiful spray of white and green flowers that last a very long time. No fragrance, but nevertheless this is a great rose. At number 8, I placed Peach Melba by Kordes. This is a climbing rose that it's supposed to be 2.2 meter high and now it's about 1 meter. But what impressed me the most is how bushy it is and how many branches it has. It has lovely flowers that has the color of the sunset and they are also very fragrant. Number 7 is Duchess of Cornwall by Tantau. This is a new rose to me this year and I'm more impressed when I'm thinking that from a bare root just 8 months ago it grew so nice. The mature size is supposed to be 100 centimeters and it already reached 70 centimeters, so it's more than a half. I like very much the overall shape of the bush. It's so well branched and it has canes on all sides, very well positioned in a round shape. It's extremely healthy and the flowers last a very long time. At number 6, I have Belle du Jour by Dahl. It says on the label 90 centimeters, but I find out this year that this rose can be grown as a climber. So that is what I will do. It has the most gorgeous yellow cup flowers with a unique fragrance. It doesn't smell like a classic rose, it's a really special one. Mine already reaches 160 centimeters and is really healthy. Number 5 is Rose Eden by Mayand. This is a favorite for many people, me included, and I think it's liking this location. I planted this on purpose next to my deck so I can see it more often, and it's growing very nicely. On the label, the mature size, it says 120 centimeters. On other websites, it says it can reach 350 centimeters, and mine already is 190 centimeters in one season. I absolutely love the flowers. I love the pink, white and green combination of colors, and they last for a very, very long time. But they are not fragrant. Number 4 is Olivia by David Austin. It only has the 4th position because this is the second season in my garden. It struggled a bit where I planted the first time, but this summer it grew larger and bushier. It's supposed to get 110 centimeters and is there. It flowers all summer without any break. The flowers are very beautiful, shallow cupped rosette with a delicate fragrance. The plant was very healthy for me this year and it has a very nice structure and shape. At number 3 I have Danehue by David Austin. This rose is a flowering machine and it has been all summer. It already reached the mature size of 120 centimeters in only one season. I purchased this in a pot and maybe this helps to establish quicker than a bare root, but it's clearly doing very well, and not to mention the shape and the color of the blooms. This rose is an absolute must-have, especially if you are looking for a rose for a shadier space. Number 2 is Roald by David Austin. This was a bare root at the beginning of the season and it's supposed to reach 90 centimeters and to be perfect for a pot. It has already grew 130 centimeters and this is definitely going into the ground into a final position this winter. The flowers are on the smaller side, but they are very beautiful. It reminds me a lot of Sweet Juliet. They are an intense yellow color, cupped shape with a lot of petals inside. It's a healthy rose overall and I see a lot of growth only in one season and being in a pot. And finally, number 1 is Kiss Me Kate by Kordes. For me, this is a beast of a rose, who clearly likes his location. This was one of the first roses that I planted and it grew in 1 year up to 220 centimeters. This is a climbing rose. The mature size is supposed to be 200 centimeters and it already outgrew that height. It had only a few flowers this year, not too many, but I don't mind if I see that it's putting down new growth and is doing something. It grew a few canes, very thick and strong. I bent them horizontally and very rapidly they responded and grew extra more lateral canes that are now taller than the shed. The blooms are very fragrant and they are an intense pink. It's looking very healthy and I cannot wait to see it in the next season. Actually, I cannot wait to see all of them cover in blooms in the next season. I'm sure that many of the roses who didn't make it into this list are not bad roses, but they all needed more care from me. And by care, I mean more water and maybe a richer and well-structured soil. My next challenge is to prune them correctly to encourage a lot of flowers. Please let me know what roses you have in your garden that impress you the most in terms of growth And if you want to see more great roses that are worth growing, you can watch my latest garden tour where I show some of my favorite roses and how they flower in the heat of the summer. Please like this video if you enjoy watching, consider subscribing if you like this type of content, and until next time, happy gardening everyone!